That brings me to you, Simone.
Yes.
Because this is literally in regards to relationships. It's emotional abuse. It's sexual abuse. It's all of these things rolled into one,
Yeah.
which you must see within your line
Yeah.
of work
Yeah.
with people that have come to you.
I guess again, like everybody else, these passions and journeys and things that we like to do and give back to the world is because of our own journeys and the things that we've been through ourselves and the things that we want to, help and change. And yeah, I have my own experiences and my own things where I've come to terms with what boundaries are and my relationship with men and growing up and having similar experiences of like grooming and perceiving men as supposed to be protectors, but then also being taken advantage of. And as I've grown as a person, I've started to feel like a lot of the problems that we have in this world are because of this breakdown of relationship and power dynamic between men and women. And even what you were saying, Steph, about, when you started to feel, when you became more of a man and the feeling was like, feeling not good enough and like I think that from me speaking to men, I feel like that resonates with a lot of men. And I think that overwhelming feeling over time in generations has become something that has turned into something that maybe has attacked women, has maybe looked at women like we are the reason for that feeling. And it's no fault of anybody, to be honest. Like, there's no fault of anybody, and I believe that women do have the power as well to make men feel seen and heard. And I think that's what the where our like conflict has come from, is that we have the medicine that we need for each other, but somewhere along the line it's become a way to like separate and attack each other. And through a lot of my work, it's about really helping women to see men, to really see them, to love them, to accept them. And for women, there's a lot of healing with figuring out how to see themselves, how to respect themselves, have boundaries, and know that they are enough as well. But a lot of it is seeing men.
That was interesting to me. That hit a nerve. Be honest with
Me
you.
too.
I just gotta be transparent with this podcast because I want it to be as heartfelt as possible. There's a conversation I had with you previously about a relationship I was in, and seeing it as, oh, he done this and he done this and he didn't do this and he didn't do that. I had a conversation with that person yesterday, and whoa, I was smacked in the face with what I'd done and what I had, faced, and the expression that came out of him was things that I never heard him say. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know you felt like this. I didn't understand that you felt like this. And then now it's made me feel like maybe I was a little bit, harsh.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a little bit harsh in stepping away. Maybe I need to really face myself right now and actually see that this person is actually not a bad person. Yes, they probably didn't do X, Y, and Z, but they didn't do that because of what you've done, which made them draw back. And I was like, oh my gosh, how didn't I see all of this? So I really went through it last night, and this is only last night. So I went through it last night with some emotions, and I was like, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't see how I hurt this person, and I didn't see how my actions, and it was actions that I didn't even take when I was in the relationship, but I didn't realize how it affected him. And I had to look at it so clear as day that it made me really observe him differently and observe the relationship between us differently. That's now making me want to make different decisions right now that I was making before. So we'll see the outcome of that. Obviously, I was a bit vague, but it's just a case of facing your own stuff and not realizing that men also go through the emotional roller coasters that us women go through.
They carry things differently.
There you go.
They carry things differently.
And I feel like it comes out in their action rather than I'm going to say these words to you. So it comes out in their action of what they're not going to do, what they are going to do. As the only man on the panel,
Mm-hmm.
this is the time to bring it to you, because I feel like you're a very intelligent man and a very emotionally intelligent man at that. Because emotional intelligence isn't just about I can observe that this emotion is surfacing. It's also about, can you regulate that, and can you also help your partner regulate that? So, what's your thoughts on this, Johnny?
Well, I think that fundamentally, right, we have different roles. Like men and women are equal. Right? Obviously, I'm going to give you the biblical perspective because that's the perspective by which I live my life and that I resonate with. Men and women are created equal with different roles, just like we were talking about light and darkness. You know, it's part of this duality, of this reality that in a sense we're not. We can be whole by ourselves.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I used to prescribe to the whole twin flame kind of thing. You know, I was like, man, I'm half a soul, and you know, I thought I'd met my twin flame. You know, because I didn't really know anything about that stuff, and she told me that's what it was. I was like, yeah, I'm willing to go along with this because this feels awesome. This feels right. You know, I think men and women are both incredibly emotional creatures. Men are so emotional. They're so emotional, but there's no education, there's no formal education, right, on how to process those emotions. The same goes for women as well. So we're kind of at the mercy of our parents when it comes to how we're prepared, because children before the age of 12, they're really just, before they develop this sense of self, they are they're imitating, they're sponges. You know, one of my mentors likes to say that a man who can control his emotions, like an emotional man who can control and channel his emotion, is unstoppable. You know, I'm not going to speak on behalf of women, but I'd say the same is true. Being emotional is awesome. One of the worst places I've ever been in my life was when I was choosing not to feel. You know, I've never taken antipsychotic or antidepressant medication. I have friends who've taken it, and they say it's like being a zombie. You don't feel anything. You know, I think that feeling is super important in terms of emotional intelligence. I think that I think that's just something that I was just gifted with. You know, I don't think I worked on it or anything. It's just coming down to like paying attention, just being perceptive, and you know, close out by saying this, holding space. You know, that's something that I used to love saying in the New Age realm in my 20s, and it's something that I still stand by now, which is the capacity to listen and
Definitely.
and this ties it back to what you were saying about men and women. You know, the Bible would address it like this: women need love, men need respect, right? And when you don't have those things, you get into what's called the crazy cycle, right? Which is, you know, I love my parents, right? But I see the crazy cycle playing out, which is that my mom doesn't give my dad respect. He closes down. He's unloving. She shows him less respect because why is he not loving me? He shows her less love because he's like, I'm not respected. I'm not seen as a man. And on it goes. So I think that for men and women, we need to learn to be willing to give each other unlimited conversational space, so that just as with me replying, I've been going for a while, but you're very politely allowing me to finish and land my point, so that I feel heard. And when we take the time to do that, I think we're going to be. I think we'll take humanity to new levels right there.
What you're saying is valid, and a person needs to be able to finish their point. I feel like it's a skill to be able to reason with people. So I said I don't debate, I reason. Because in reasoning, I'm saying that, okay, I'm listening to you, even if your point of view doesn't fully fully resonate. I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Doesn't really resonate with me right now, but I understand what you're saying, and I'm not going to be emotionally attached to it. Of no, you need to listen to me. This is what's right, and it's not a fact of what's right or wrong. It's what's your experience, what's my experience, what's your observation, what's your perception. Because I know that whatever you bring may resonate with me in a year's time, may resonate with me in a month's time, may resonate
Beautiful.
with me in you get me 2 weeks, but I'm going to give it the space that it needs to be able to be heard. So it may just resonate at some point